Relationships are about partnerships. We want someone who is our true counterpart. That's what you want. But that's what a high status guy wants too. He wants someone that's his true partner. He wants somebody who's going to be like your quote unquote ride or die, someone that's going to have his back, and you want someone that has your back. He wants someone that's extremely trustworthy and loyal.
Gary, today we're going to be talking about the 5 ways to attract high status men who are these women's equal. Now I have something underneath my desk right now that is very low status. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you ready? This is low status. This is, for those who are listening to just the podcast, I'm holding Larry the Loser right now. This is our definition of low status guys that every single woman is so sick of dating.
It's very creepy. And now Adam's kissing him. You're holding him very close.
I actually told the studio here to throw this thing out, but they loved Larry so much that they decided to keep him. I'm so thankful because I'm holding on to this guy forever. This is my guy.
He's amazing. That's oh my gosh. It's worth tuning into the YouTube thing just to see the video of this. It's 1,000 words don't do it justice.
Well, for those who are watching, I am sure that, or who are listening through the podcast, I'm sure that they are sick of being the only woman who cares in a relationship, right? This guy, he doesn't care, right? Low status guy, not your equal, or the only one who is making an effort in the relationship. And starting today, we are going to never again settle for one-sided relationships. That's it. After this podcast, you're going to be saying next, 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 and focusing on the right men that are worth your time.
Yeah, these one-sided relationships are like those bad group projects that you had back in school that I know my students still complain about. It's, you do all the work, no one else does everything. They're just kind of along for the ride, just kind of glomming onto you and taking, basking in the credit that you're getting. Except for, when it comes to relationships, it's like a bad group project that's one-sided, but then it ruins your life, which seems really unfair. It's just not your grade anymore. It's ruining your entire life. And so what we want to help with today is to help you avoid being a relationship overachiever. No more doing the work for the both of you. You want someone who's actually your equal. And there's a really good reason for this. It's because obviously you don't want a subordinate. You don't want to be someone else's subordinate. But we talk a lot about achieving relationship synergy. Relationship synergy is only achievable if you have 2 A players, both contributing their fair share. And then you get that 1 + 1 = 3, maybe 5. But it's like the addition of the 2, the sum is greater than its parts. And that can only happen when both people are pulling their proverbial relationship weight.
Absolutely. And I want no one listening to avoid this excuse that it'll just be like this while we're dating. Once we're married or once we're in a relationship, he's going to change. Wrong. In fact, it'll probably be the opposite, because when someone's dating, that is the best you're going to get as far as investment. Okay. So if he's low investment early on, good luck when you're married for 10 years. Good luck. Not happening. So getting it right while dating is critically important to finding that high status, high quality guy.
Yeah, because we lie to ourselves and we say, I can tolerate this. This is not a big deal. This isn't going to last forever. And dating doesn't last that long comparatively, but what you can tolerate in a couple months, you're not going to be able to tolerate for a year or 2. And so you get it right from the beginning, and super, super important. And so getting it right means finding someone who's actually your equal. And so what do we mean by equal? Because I think this is something people mess up, right? And so equal doesn't mean that you and your partner are the exact same on every single trait, right?
Yeah.
What we do mean though, is you are equal overall. So in terms of your overall, physical attractiveness, you don't have to be exactly the same. Income, you don't have to be exactly the same. Any trait you can imagine, you don't have to be exactly the same on every single one. One person is inevitably going to be a little bit higher on one, lower on something else. Overall, though, it has to balance out. What researchers call this, we talk about this in evolutionary psych in terms of mate value, overall mate value. And so all of the characteristics that go into making you a good partner, that's your mate value. And so it's an overall average. And so if you average out to a 7, your partner should also average out to a 7. If you're a 4, your partner's a 4, a 10 with a 10, 9 with a 9, and so on. But that's what we mean by equality. Not on every trait, but on the overall average of everything.
Absolutely. And it's funny that we're talking about this mate value piece and that it doesn't have to be equal in all areas, because I had an interesting conversation with a number of clients last night, and we were talking about one of my clients was like, I am a very like deep person, and I'm also kind of like all over the map. Like, I'm the type of person who just is impulsive. I like to just like do random things. And the guy I'm dating is like very, very structured. And I'm concerned that he won't be interested in me because I'm not like him. And I gave her the reframe on this, that he is probably attracted to your impulsiveness, and you are probably attracted to his discipline. Because I believe that it's not that opposites attract. I think we are just attracted to our weaknesses. So like, where is your, like, let's say you might struggle with just that example right there. If you struggle with discipline, you're naturally going to see someone who's disciplined and be like, huh, that's really interesting. That's attractive. And if this guy's a total stiff and he's like, I know I'm kind of lame, he's going to look at you and be like, oh my God, that is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Boom. Now that's how 1 + 1 = 3. Now you're going to be less of a chaotic like hot mess, and he's going to be less of a stiff. Great. Now you're going to both rise by being together.
Yeah. And the research actually agrees with exactly what you just said, in the sense that we like desirable differences. And when our counterpart has what we consider to be aspirational traits for ourselves, things that we know are not as strong in ourselves that we want to improve on, that becomes very attractive, because by definition, we don't have that thing. And so there's some research specifically in the realm of spenders and savers when it comes to how you handle finances. And spenders and savers are attracted to each other, because spenders want to be a little bit more responsible. The people who are savers look at the spenders, are like, wow, they have more fun. And so they both see things in each other that are aspirational traits, desirable differences that they're looking to improve upon.
Interesting. That one strikes me as, I would not want to be with a super spender, but I'm a saver. So maybe, I don't know. Who knows? I like it. I mean, I'm sure across the board that is the case, but that's interesting.
Yeah, it's probably less about polar opposite than, being with someone who's more of a saver than you probably isn't as appealing as being with someone who's a little bit more of a spender than you.
Yeah. No, I get it. I like it. All right. Well, walk us through the first one, Dr. G, Dr. Love.
Sure. So to get your, you throw me off every time.
I'm bringing Larry back. I'm bringing Larry back soon if we don't get to it, because he's like, can we get this podcast done?
So to find your equal, one of the key themes that you're going to see us coming back to over and over is give what you want to get. And so the first key to finding your equal is be the magnet, radiate the qualities you desire in a partner. There's a saying that I came across that I heard in a different context that basically goes something like, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so I think it's the same thing in relationships, in the sense that you want to make sure you're ready. And if you're ready to attract the kind of person that you want, then all of a sudden you're going to start seeing them, right? Like, how many times have you been in your relationship life where as soon as you stop looking and you just kind of focus on yourself, you're like, I'm not into relationships, and all of a sudden, like, all these guys start coming out of the woodwork, and it's like, where have these guys been all this time when I was desperately looking? It's like, you just weren't ready to see them. They've been there the whole time.
Yeah, I love that. What is that? A Karate Kid quote? What is that? When the students
it's one of those ones where it's like, I probably heard it on a podcast or read it in a book recently, and it was like, this totally fits with this point. So I don't know.
Wax on, wax off. Great.
Wax on, wax off.
That's Karate Kid, right? I think so.
That is definitely Karate Kid. Thanks, Miyagi.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, you were like 30 when that movie came out, so it's perfect. I don't know why I'm coming at you today. It's the loser Larry in me right now.
Seriously. So low value.
So low value. I'm being very low value right now. But it is really true. I mean, you want to create that equal. And when it comes to this status game, if we want to attract a high status partner, we need to show up in a high status way ourselves. And if we're talking about a high caliber partner who has high character, who is classy, who's intelligent, who's stable, that's what we mean by you got to radiate the qualities that you desire in a partner, right? You don't have to be perfect in all areas, but if you are desiring a certain person of a certain level, for example, if you want to be with a guy who is hyper successful, he's a doctor or he's an attorney or he's a top entrepreneur, we need to be comfortable being around those types of people. You know, I've met plenty of clients over the years who are like, who will say that aspirationally, oh, I want to be with a guy who I've heard, let's just bring in like financial numbers because it's an easy like way to think about it. Like, I want to be with a guy who makes over $1 million a year. And I'd be like, great. How many people do you know right now that make over $1 million a year? None. Okay. We got to elevate our social circle. We got to be surrounded by those people. We got to know how they talk, how they walk, how it is that they engage with people. It doesn't just suddenly like appear into your life. There's actually a different way of being in those types of social groups. And it's kind of a weird thing, but it really is about kind of elevating ourselves and radiating those qualities that you are actually looking to attract.
Yeah, in some ways, it's the ultimate empowerment where if you're unhappy with what you're getting or what you're attracting, you got to focus on what you're giving. And that's well within your control. It's well within your power to focus more on what you're giving. Like, are you adding value? Do you have value that you're able to bring to the table? Because if you are, and if you can, then you're going to start attracting those things in your partners. And so, you're looking for these high caliber guys. Adam, what's the ultimate high caliber hack?
Saying next to low caliber loser Larrys. 100%.
Yeah, don't waste your emotional bandwidth on the Larrys in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing is it's so easy to get sucked into relationships with low value, low caliber people. It is because when you're dating, there's kind of two major mechanisms at play. There's the attraction mechanism, who you might be like physically attracted to, who you might want to sleep with, you might have good chemistry with. And there's the compatibility piece, which is a lot of what we're talking about. Like a guy who is more high status, who's got all, who wants the same things as you in life, all these other things. The thing is, if you spend enough time with low caliber, low character people, you're going to be attracted to some of them and they're going to suck you in and then just leave you high and dry years down the road. So we have to be super disciplined and very patient throughout the process of saying no, 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 no a lot if we really want to get to the tippity top. It's the same thing like in your professional career. Like if you want to get to a super high level in your career, you're not going to be filling out applications to go work at McDonald's or Chipotle. Nothing against doing that, but like you're not going to be even dealing with that. That's not even a consideration for you, right? And we have to be saying no to similarly the types of guys who are with something that you get at McDonald's. Like I haven't eaten at McDonald's in a while.
Chicken McNuggets.
A chicken McNugget. What do they make that with? The pink sludge?
Yep.
The pink sludge of men. I saw that video when I was like 15. Oh my God. Oh God. And there are men out there. It's like they're the chicken nuggets. Like they look pretty good. But when you look at what they're made of, it's like, ugh, no. Next.
We have inflatable loser Larrys and now the pink sludge of men. So
I'm in a weird mood today, man. It's a funny thing. I don't know what's going on. I think it is a Larry. So, so take us to number 2.
The other way to get your equal is to show that you can be a true partner. Right? Relationships are about partnerships. We want someone who is our true counterpart. That's what you want. But that's what a high status guy wants too. He wants someone that's his true partner. He wants somebody who's going to be like your quote unquote ride or die, someone that's going to have his back, and you want someone that has your back. He wants someone that's extremely trustworthy and loyal. And so little things like avoiding gossiping about other people, avoiding bad mouthing others. You don't want to do those low value types of things because as soon as he hears you doing that, he's going to think, gosh, that's what she's going to do about me. And so
Right.
you want to show like, no, 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 that's not who I am. I'm high status as well. And I'm going to maintain this level so that you can see we really are equals. We're both highly competent. We're both successful. We're both ambitious. We're both the same.
A perfect example of this as well is with lying. So if you want to attract a guy who doesn't lie, guess what? We need to live by that own principle ourselves. And it is fascinating how often we might make small lies in life to get us out of things. Like, let's say you're talking to your girlfriend and you really don't want to go to this event or this dinner, and he's next to you and you tell her, "Oh, no, no, sorry, I already have this going on with my husband," then you hang, or my boyfriend, and you hang up. And then you look at him and you're like, "Yeah, we don't really have anything going on." That to you might feel like not a big deal, but he is going to look at that and say, well, if you're lying to your friend right now, what are you lying to me about? And so that is where like lying in particular and a lot of these kind of key character traits are very important to uphold that even through your dating life. Because once you start upholding these values, suddenly start to attract people who also have those same values. And that's how you find your true ride or die, that guy who trusts you. The easiest way to break trust is by lying, right? You just lie and no one will trust you. And so I think that that kind of plays into everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, I totally agree about the lying, especially. But I think there's one more part to this about being a true partner and finding your equal, and kind of going back to that group project idea is you really do want an equal. So you shouldn't want a guy to completely take care of you and do everything for you. Like there's part of you that sounds amazing to have somebody do everything for you, take care of your every last whim, but then that's actually not true equality. And so there's going to be times when that happens, yes, but it can't be all the time. You can't just be take, as good as it's going to feel to be in that receiving take position. You want to be very careful that you're not falling into that trap, because he again will look at that and be like, oh gosh, she's willing to just lay back and let me do everything all the time. And it goes back to like, we want someone who's a true equal, no one-sided relationships. And when you're getting all the benefits, it's easy to just kind of sit back and be like, isn't this amazing? You got to
Right.
step up though too.
Absolutely. Now, I think the third part of finding and attracting your true equal is all about having the relationship be a sanctuary. Like you should be a sanctuary for him, and he should be a sanctuary for you. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, look, life is very stressful. It's very hectic. There's lots of pressure, there's problems, and every human needs some type of safe harbor in the storm. And the sanctuary is where you can really start to block out all of those things. And if you think about it, like who are the types of people that we really like to spend the most time with? It's positive people, optimistic people, problem solvers, confident people, capable people, fun people. Someone who can just be fun when you're going through like a tough time in life. Can When he's going through a tough time, can you just be fun for him? Vice versa, can he just be fun? Is there a sense of humor there? And when we start to become on the alternative side of this, when we start to become like an obligation, when we're skeptical, cynical, we add to the stress. He comes home from a tough day at work with his boss, and his boss is yelling at him, and he's like, "Oh my God, my boss is just such a total whatever." And you're like, "Well, what did you do to make him do that?" Right? Guess what? He's not coming to you the next time that situation comes up again, right? Instead, where can we just leave that and be like, "I'm so sorry, I got your back, babe. I'm your ride or die. Let's go. You got this. You can do this." And that's what equality really in a relationship looks like. He's doing that for you. You're doing that for him.
Yeah, you don't want to come home to a partner or have conversations with a partner who's always stressed, always negative, always complaining, cynical, skeptical, all that stuff. It's just those people feel like work to be around, and that's not what we want. Um, we want someone who's like fun loving. We want someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously, who's easygoing, who's willing to blow up an inflatable male doll and go on a video and hug a
I got him upside down now. Uh-oh. It's getting weird.
like there's something to just having somebody like fun, easy to be around, and like that's oh gosh. Can't concentrate with you making out with an inflatable.
I don't think anyone can see that because the screen changes from side. You're the only one on the planet who got to see that moment. So thank God. Sorry on YouTube
So
for those
you
who
are
are
my
watching.
sanctuary. It's
You're
thanks.
my sanctuary, buddy. You're my sanctuary. Thank you.
All right,
You're
I'm
my
moving on to
fun.
the next one because I can't take it. Can't take it. Um, I think that
Every
so.
time you mention Larry, I'm bringing him back in. So just saying.
All right, note to self. Um, the fourth one. So sanctuary, you want to be easy to be around. The other thing is you have to be able to, as I've come to call this, quote unquote, paddle your own canoe. And it's such a weird phrase. And I have to tell you, it comes from a very specific place. I'm from Philadelphia, went to college out in Pennsylvania. And when I was in college, there was this mysterious liquor that people drank in college, and it was called, it was Wild Spirit or some. I might have that wrong because memory. It's been a couple decades, but on the bottle of Wild Spirit, there was a little saying that said "paddle your own canoe," and it just became this catchphrase with people. It is like, people are struggling doing anything. It's like, "Hey, buddy, paddle your own canoe," and it just became this thing of
Mm.
like a reminder you have to be independent. Like it's kind of like a nicer way of saying take care of your own blank, right? um, and that's actually what we want from our partner. We want to be able to support them, but we also want somebody who's independent, that we don't have to feel like we need to monitor or entertain or give attention to all the time. As a guy, I'm going to have my own plans. I'm going to have my own career plans, ambitions, things I'm trying to get done. I want to be with somebody who has those for themselves as well. Like, I'm going to work on having an amazing life. I'm hoping you're going to work on having an amazing life because I want both of us to benefit from the amazing lives we each have and then combine those two things together to have something even better than we have apart.
I love that. Paddle your own canoe. I'm just imagining like one person is in one canoe going down a river in Pennsylvania, then the other partner's in a different canoe. They're both drinking whiskey at the same time, going in the same direction, right? Huh? With this, I'm taking this analogy to the next level, but they're drinking their whiskey, they're having a good time, but they're at least going in the same direction. Huh?
I like
Did I
it.
take the analogy to the next level?
And I actually
That's
even,
it.
my vague memory was it's like a chocolatey, I don't know. It was not, it was something you've never had before. It was weird. And I actually looked it up in preparation for this. They don't make it anymore, which is probably just as well.
I was gonna say we should put a little challenge out there. If people give this video 1,000 likes on YouTube, let's do a podcast drunk.
Paddle our own canoe. I mean, what
Yeah,
would that really look like? Would you make out with more inflatable dolls? Like, is that really?
I'm scared of the things I might say, but I think it could be kind of fun. I mean, drunk for me these days is like 2 tequilas, but I think we could have a really good time. I'm more of a Clase Azul guy these days, as you know.
So
That's my
fancy.
go-to. Yeah, but if we get enough likes on this video, or you leave some comments in the podcast reviews, give us some good reviews, bad reviews, whatever. Hey, we're getting drunk, Gary, and we're gonna do a fun podcast. That
That was
sounds fun.
that sounds fun. It does.
Next time you come to Boston, we'll do it in person. That'll be a good one.
Perfect.
All right, move us forward here. What do you got?
Finally, when you're looking for your true equal as you're looking for that high status guy, it's all about yourself. Be a VIP. Very important person. And what we mean by that is you're the woman every guy wants, but only he can get. And so there's
Mm,
something about him that you're going to grant special access to. He's getting special treatment by you even giving him attention that, like, every guy wants to talk to you, but there's something about him. And you do little things like you let him know, like, I don't normally talk like this, but I'm talking like this to you. It's not every guy that I feel this way about, but there's something special about you. And so you're available uniquely to him, not just anybody.
right. Yeah, and I mean, even just saying like, I got a secret to tell you. I haven't honestly ever told. I haven't told someone this in a really long time, and it's something like kind of fun or quirky or interesting. But just by saying that, like, I'm going to tell you something I haven't told anyone in a long time. And it suddenly kind of builds this connection between the two of you because now you're showing him that he is special. And you are like kind of investing in the process, but you're giving him the kind of that special treatment into your life. You're giving him that VIP, kind of access. I love that.
Yeah, and there's something to this too. It's just this basic idea of scarcity. It's like a limited edition. It's this special edition that not everybody can get. And so, guys, people who care about status, who are good at things, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for something special, unique that not everybody can do. And the important thing here is with this VIP and this specialness is your amazingness does not come from your looks. It comes from your character. It comes from who you are as a person. So it's based on your intellect, your skills, abilities, experience, wisdom, your just general ability to be comfortable in your own skin. To the extent you have that confidence and that just comportment and ability to just kind of that is unique, and that is going to be appealing because it's going to make you more interesting. And an easy way to do it, we had a whole podcast on this, so I'm not going to get too far into this, but just asking better questions, sharing qualities about yourself that don't exactly go together, what we call contradictory qualities. These are the things that are going to kind of set you on that next level. It's going to put you a tier up, so to speak, in ways that maybe you haven't been thinking about.
Yeah, separate yourself from the pack. Don't be afraid to share kind of those little quirky, strange parts of who you are that are what I'm calling cute quirky. It's the first time I've ever said it out loud, but I've been writing cute, quirky, cute. Cute quirky, we'll see which one kind of lands. But something about you that is just a little bit different, like something that I do when I'm at home that may or may not be cute, but it is quirky. Like I walk around and I am constantly snapping my fingers because I have so much energy, or I air strum the guitar when I'm listening to music. It's so ridiculous, but like that's who I am. And if I was on a date, I'd be like, I got a secret to tell you. I haven't told anyone this, but I am a big, like when I ride my motorcycle by myself, I'm actually like strumming the guitar, air strumming, and probably everyone thinks I'm ridiculous, but I don't know. I like good music. What can I say? What does that do? Hey, some people are going to think you're a freaking weirdo, dude. Don't talk to me again. Other people will be like, ooh, I'm kind of in the VIP now. I get it. Okay. I like that. That's kind of funny. That's weird.
Well, and even
Right?
just revealing that you're Snappy Adam at home, I think, I mean,
Adam.
it shows a certain level of confidence in the sense of like, I'm going to share something that's like really ridiculous that, people can make fun of me about all they want, but I don't care. Like, this is who I am. I'm cool with that. Like, make fun of Snappy Adam all you want.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, ladies, please follow this. Get out there, attract that high status guy who is your equal because you do deserve this. So long as you put in the work, put in the effort, and go make it happen. We're here for you every single step of the way. Dr. G, thank you. This was really fun. Talk to you next week.